So let's see what his teammate can produce now. It's his 6th Gold Coast event, and we are going to project some awesome images around this racetrack as he gets this lap going. And it is a maximum attack lap, and he's only barely come out the other side of that without skating into the wall. What's the track telegraphing to him in terms of grip coming out of turn 4? We'll get our first read.
And I reckon that might have been, given he's the first runner since the incident down there, a little bit of remnants of debris on the road, because when he come out of turn 3, he had his foot buried completely sideways. So he gathered it up really nicely. Let's have a look at what that split was, a 20.5. A 19.7 is the normal sort of number.
Yeah, so it's a little bit away as you'd expect. And you held your breath when he came out of the first complex, and that was telling in itself because that was so close. Di Pasquale making it out of the right-hander here. He's 30 years of age. He is Gold Coast based, originally out of Werribee in Victoria. He's into the final complex now, and it's such a challenge to do the direction change, the brake, and get out the other side. It's his 5th top 10 shootout at this location, and now it's about precision with those upshifts as he records our first number of the day. And we'll see what it looks like, and it is a 10-1 for Anton Di Pasquale, with everybody inside the Team 18 garage observing that lap. Let's see what this young fella can produce. He just recently turned 23 years of age. He is also a character that's based here on the Gold Coast, and every time they thread their way through the first chicane complex, my heart stops.
Absolutely. You could not have a millimetre left on the right-hand front guard of that car in the braking area for turn 4 then. It was against the fence so hard, and that number, Neil, we saw a 19.7 best of the weekend, still remnants on the road. He's on a 19.9, so very good start to the lap.
The thing has skated out the other side from having all 4 off the deck through the beach chicane. He did manage to rescue it, but was there any compromise in that? We'll get our next indication of the speed here in the next sector, and he's up by a couple of tenths on Anton on that lap, but that was a wild moment that he only barely rescued. 13 is a turn that he rubbed the wall yesterday, and so did his teammate at one stage. He makes a brake bias adjustment into the final corner.
Nice exit there. He straightens it off. You could see him have very little steering lock for the end of that corner coming onto the straight. He was able to get maximum traction with both rear wheels straightened up, and he does a 9.2. That's a good lap for the condition of the racetrack. That's very good now.
And he's been in the top 10 shootout a bunch of times, 14 in total as he gets his lap going here, and he's through that high-risk zone straight away. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of experience in that, Neil, because he approached that with real diligence. He didn't try to go mad. He's a little bit slower than Feeney, only a 1/10 of a second, but he did a really nice job just to stay in the game. You could wreck your lap at the first 2 corners.
That was a little more sedate than the images we saw for Brock, but he did have the thing on the slide out of the exit of turn 10. 11's just that little kink in the road, and then you're off into that area where the track cambers away from you in the braking approach to turn 13, but he got it through there nicely. It's not a bad-looking lap. He's not quite at the same level of numbers as Brock, but it's been a tidy lap so far with no gravel rash.
Exactly. And it's experience playing a big part here in terms of the pace that he's showing, and a little bit more conservative than the others, especially Brock Feeney with that first run. So as Courtney comes across the strike, he stays hard on the right-hand side to shorten the distance on the inside to the kink, and he does a 9.43. Fastest car in the last sector, so that car got better and better and better through the course of that lap.
260 kilometres an hour by the time he grabs the picks down here, and then has to decide where he wants to throw the Mustang, and where it lands is anyone's guess.
He floated through there really nicely. Got it stopped, turns it at the apex of turn 4 on the throttle very nicely. We'll give you the first sector right now. And the number that he's done there is only about half a tenth away from the best we've seen with Feeney. So he is right in the game.
He loves this freestyle type of racetrack. Very good in these conditions, and he has gone so close to the exit wall there at turn 10. There must have been just a 3 thou margin down the right-hand side of that car. First indication comes up, he's well in the game. He's only fractions away. He's about a 1/10 away in the mid-sector. If he can stitch together a good sector 3, he's going to be right up there with Brock and James, remembering that there's a pretty decent margin, 0.2 of a second, to go farming in there. Out of the final corner, plucking gears, trying to make sure that it doesn't leap sideways from second to third. Now it's about precision shifting as they are fully focused in the garage as Sam Potter, his engineer, watches, and he has, in fact, split them. He splits Feeney and Courtney, moves it up into position 2. But it'd be a great opportunity for him this weekend to capitalise on the enormous pace that he had at Bathurst.
Yeah, he was very impressive. In fact, I thought that right near the end, if he was really well coached, he was probably the fastest car. Look how close he was with the right-hand front wheel there against the fence on the braking approach to turn 4. He turned it in there really nicely. He's about a tenth and a little bit away from what Feeney did, but everyone hasn't been able to replicate the number that Brock was able to do.
Third fastest runner to the first timing intermediate, and he's got the thing fully flying over the top of the curb. He was pretty hungry there. I was wondering, in fact, whether that was so far to the right in the main bit of the curb that whether or not it could have been a hop, but it didn't come up that way. Out of the left-hander at 11. And it looks nice and clean in this sector of the racetrack to the extent that he's just gone faster in the mid-sector than anyone else. He's done a 23.1. So given he was slightly down in sector 1, slightly up in 2, he's going to be right there. Now, it pushed a little bit through that final complex. Has that compromised the run onto the straight? Brock keeps an eye on it. They're watching down at Premier Racing, and it looks like it's a pretty solid run. He's gone up into position 2, and he splits Brock and Cam.
And this will also be interesting here. Flows it through there really nicely. That right-hand rear tyre is going to be put to maximum pressure and exertion on the way out of here.
That looked good.
It did look good. And here's the first number, comes up right now. 19.8, fastest so far.
He diagonaled it more to the apex of turn 4 than James Golding, for example, as we jump on board for the fast run here. This is 240 odd Ks. They're deeper in there in 25 than at any time in Supercars history. He has hit the wall massively. Brown has had a monstrous shunt when it mattered on the back straight. What a shame. It tripped up over the curb and he slams the Camaro into the concrete.
Yep, you're right, mate. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all good.
First portion of the lap was the fastest. It's winded him.
I think I was out of control until I hit that.
Let's have a look again at the replay. The first bit didn't look too bad, but flew and sat up for a long time in both directions. This one pitched it, and the way that it bounced, it just didn't come back.
Yeah, it's a compounding thing because it got too far to the left and then too far to the right. So watch this, too far there, then makes the last corner too tight. So off the turn 9 right-hand bit, it ended up too far to the left, which makes the last part, turn 10, too tight. Watch this.
Got out of phase.
Out of this, you're out of phase. So it's a compounding thing. You just get a little wide, then that makes this corner too tight. And then when he turned it, it just lost grip, and the lateral grip then is not good enough. He then hits the tyre bundle, and then it feeds the front of the car in. So the back of the car probably won't be as bad as we thought because the tyres will take some. Have a listen. He's made 15 of the last 16 Gold Coast shootouts dating back to 2013. He loves this venue. He's very, very good under brakes. And let's just see how he goes about this first section, because this is ultimately the bit that gives a little bit of confidence and keeps you in play. He got through there nicely. A little bit too much understeer when he turned in to turn 4. And the first number comes up now. It's only a tenth away, so he's still in the game.
19.8 was the reference that he's chasing. He's about 1.5 tenths away from that best number achieved by Brown, who didn't complete the lap. Right here, he got bitten, but David's got out the other side nicely. The car didn't fly too high. When he gets out of the left-hander down here at 11, we'll get an understanding between 11 and 12 of what the mid-sector on the racetrack looks like. James Golding was the fastest in the middle of the racetrack. He's not far away here. It just yelped the brakes a little bit into the left-hander at 12. The tyres just protesting in the background. It's all over fast at this racetrack. Direction change here in both directions makes braking very, very difficult.
Looks like it battles for front grip a little bit in the middle part of this lap. You can see there, Brock Feeney paying attention. All the brains trust the Team 18 also paying attention. And the numbers are 9.55 for David Reynolds, currently 5th. Yeah, big moment for the championship for Ryan as he attacks. We've seen some big images of him over there too. Oh, we didn't see from the outside, but that would have been massively over that turn 9 curve. The first number for him was a 20.1. but the car is flowing really nicely. He's got 2 roaded green tyres, so slightly better tyre quality than David Reynolds, the previous runner.
He's on target to potentially threaten Brock Feeney here. His number very strong in the middle sector of the racetrack. Jinks to the right, turns to the left, feeds it 100% throttle in second gear to third gear. The car's stable on exit. Now he's just got to encourage the thing to the line to try and cheat that number. He's after a 1 minute 9.2, and he's gone to the top with a 9.1. He's on the provisional pole. Great job, great start. Now we get to see his teammate in action down here at turn 4 for Chaz Mostert. 1 minute 8.3 was the number for him to be able to get in there. Australia's favourite beer drinker at the moment based on what happened at Bathurst. But I tell you what was impressive yesterday was he pulled a big number out under pressure. He did it again earlier today, and he flies that thing through the beach chicane and gets out the other side with contact on the right rear corner. He's eaten the concrete there, and that will have done some damage to that car. What's it behaving like through this left-hander? Is he going to get it to the finish line, and can he get out the other side? That is going to be properly thumped.
It will be. That right-hand rear definitely made contact. He's also made contact with a tyre bundle on the left-hand wall coming out of 13. Gets it stopped, makes the apex, runs a little bit wide. Now, what's the end of this lap look like? Because the middle section was just slightly slower than his teammate, but it's going to be just in around where the Feeney Golding number is, I think, and it's a 9.27. So yes, he's between Feeney and Golding, and that's into P3 currently. He's got 2 green rear tyres. So new tyres for the back of this car might actually be a profound effect for Matt Payne. Superb drive at Bathurst, unbelievably talented young Kiwi. And the first number comes up now. It's about a 10th and a half. Actually, it's almost 2.5 tenths when you look at that number versus Brown. And that first sector may actually hurt him.
That's going to be hard to claw back. 19.8 was the best number, and Matty's just done a 20.2. Tyre conditions part of this story, and we're not 100% sure of who used what to get to this point. We ride with him into the left-hander at 12. That's where Brodie came unstuck yesterday. And a lot of people have left their signature on the wall on the exit there of 13 this weekend. But the mid-sector mark is bright. It's the fastest that we've seen. This will fold Matt Payne back into this game as he tries to figure out how to feed at third gear. Full concentration now to the line. Ryan Wood will not blink as he stares at the timing monitor. They're chasing a 1 minute 9.1, and he drops into position 3. So Woody has the pole. He gets the Boost Mobile pole for the second time in 2025. And do you reckon they're happy about that?
What a great reaction. Those new rear tyres played a part for Matt Payne in the closing stages because he was fastest in Sector 2 and Sector 3, Matt Payne. So nice finish to the lap. Not fast enough in the opening sector, but how's the elation down there for Ryan Wood, car 2, and all of the team there with truck assist. Beautiful job for the young Kiwi. He's putting a real stamp on this series this year, and that's one of the great laps he's put together.